Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation and felt something collapse inside you? Not because the person was unkind, not because they said something wrong, but because you realized 3 sentences in that you were going to have to translate everything. Every single thought that mattered to you would need to be flattened, simplified, stripped of its nuance, just so it could survive the journey from your mind to theirs. And the worst part is, by the time you finish translating, the thought you originally had is gone. The version that made it across is a pale, lifeless photocopy of what you actually meant. So you smile, you nod, you say something safe, and you walk away feeling more alone than if you had never spoken at all. If you know that feeling, stay with me, because today we are going to talk about something that almost nobody names out loud. The lonely, sometimes heartbreaking search for someone who speaks your language. And I do not mean English or French or Mandarin. The language I am talking about has nothing to do with words. It is a shared frequency, a mutual depth of curiosity, a speed of thought that does not need to be explained or defended. When you find someone who speaks this language, you know it instantly. And when you cannot find that person, the absence sits in your chest like a stone. Let me explain why this matters more than most people realize. For a certain kind of mind, connection is not a luxury. It is not a nice bonus on top of an already fine life. It is an existential necessity. Deep thinkers do not want conversation for entertainment. They want it for oxygen. They process the world through dialogue, through the collision of ideas, through the electric moment when someone else sees the pattern you have been staring at alone in the dark. Without that exchange, something inside starts to wither. Not dramatically, not all at once, but slowly, like a plant moved away from the window. And here's where I want to introduce a concept that I think will reframe everything for you. When you cannot find your tribe, you are not just lonely, you are intellectually homeless. Think about what homelessness really means. It means having no place where you can rest without performing. No shelter where you are simply accepted as you are. Most people understand physical homelessness. But intellectual homelessness is invisible, and because it is invisible, it gets dismissed. People will tell you that you are overthinking. They will say you are too intense, too serious, too much. And every time someone says that, what they are really saying is, your language is not welcome here. So you learn to code switch. You develop a social version of yourself that can handle small talk about weather and weekend plans and whatever show everyone is watching. And that version of you is fine. It functions. But it is not you. It is a mask you built so you could move through a world that was not designed for the way your mind works. Now let me describe the person I am actually talking to, because I want you to see yourself clearly. You are the one who leaves a party early, not because you are antisocial, but because 4 hours of surface conversation drained you more than a 12-hour workday. You are the one who reads a book and immediately needs to talk about it, not to summarize the plot, but to wrestle with the implications. You are the one who asks a question at dinner and watches the table go quiet because apparently that was too deep for a Tuesday evening. And here is what I need you to understand about yourself. That thing you do, that filtering those high standards for connection, that is not a wall. It is not arrogance. It is self-preservation. You have a limited amount of energy. Every deep thinker does. And you have learned through painful experience that spending that energy on interactions that do not nourish you leaves you bankrupt. So you filter. You protect the resource. And that is not a flaw. That is wisdom. But then, once in a great while, something miraculous happens. You meet someone and within the first 90 seconds, something shifts. The social mask drops. Not slowly, not cautiously, but all at once like a coat falling off your shoulders. And suddenly you are both talking at full speed, finishing each other's tangents, leaping from philosophy to psychology to that random documentary you saw at 2 in the morning. There is no translation needed, no downshifting, no editing yourself in real time. You are just there, fully, and so are they. That moment, that spark of recognition, is one of the most profoundly human experiences available to us. It is the moment when intellectual homelessness ends, even if just for an evening. And if you have felt it, you know that it is worth every lonely night that came before it. So how do you find more of those moments? How do you find your tribe? Here is where most advice gets it completely wrong. People will tell you to go out more, join clubs, attend networking events, put yourself out there. And while there is nothing wrong with showing up to new spaces, the underlying assumption is flawed. It assumes your tribe is found by fitting in, by making yourself palatable to the largest possible number of people, by sanding down your edges until you slide neatly into whatever social circle is available. But that is backwards. Your tribe is not found by fitting in. It is found by standing out. Think of it this way. If you are lost in a forest and you want to be rescued, you do not camouflage yourself. You build a fire. You send up a signal. You make yourself as visible as possible so that the people looking for you can actually find you. Being unapologetically deep, curious, intense, whatever word the world has used to make you feel like too much, that is your signal fire. Every time you dim that fire to make someone else comfortable, you make it harder for your people to locate you. Every time you pretend to care about things you do not care about, you become invisible to the exact humans who would have recognized you. So here is the actionable shift I want you to make starting today. Stop apologizing for your depth. Stop prefacing your thoughts with "sorry, this is random" or "this might be too deep," but stop performing a version of casual that does not belong to you. The more authentically you show up, the more clearly your signal broadcasts. And somewhere out there, someone who has been searching just as long and just as quietly as you is going to see that signal and walk toward it. Now I want to address the hardest part of all of this: the waiting. Because even when you understand the philosophy, even when you commit to being fully yourself, there will still be stretches of time where you feel profoundly alone. Nights where you scroll through your contacts and realize there is no one you can call for the kind of conversation you actually need. Moments where you wonder if maybe you really are too much, if maybe the problem is you. It is not you. Let me say that again because you need to hear it more than once. It is not you. The search feels lonely because genuine depth is rare. Not because it is unwanted, but because most people have been trained to avoid it. Society rewards surface. It rewards quick, easy, consumable interactions. So the people who crave depth often learn to hide that craving, which means your tribe is out there, but they are hiding in the same quiet corners you are. They are in the bookstore at closing time. They are in the comment sections of obscure lectures. They are awake at 3 in the morning wondering the same things you wonder. You are not an outcast. You are a pioneer. And pioneers, by definition, walk ahead of the crowd. The view from the front is stunning, but it is also solitary. That solitude is not a punishment. It is the cost of seeing further than most. Your people exist. They are searching for you with the same quiet desperation you feel searching for them. And every time you show up as your full, unedited, gloriously intense self, you shorten the distance between you. So speak your language out loud. Do not whisper it. Do not translate it. Do not apologize for it. Because somewhere, someone is listening for exactly that frequency. And when they hear it, they will finally feel like they have come home. And so will you. If you got value from this video, like it and subscribe to our channel.